To the sky, a warrior of truth, never asking why. Champion of silence, voice for the lost. He bore the weight, no matter the cost. Son of a light, heart open wide. He walked with the broken, never left their side. Impressed rare bird, called him her own. Truth seekers 88, his spirit their home. Amanda by his side, love shining through. Children of legacy, strong and true. He was strength wrapped in peace, a storm that brought release, forgiveness in his stride, grace he never tried to hide. He left on the 8th of the 8th moon rise, truth seekers 88, his eternal tide. Red was his fire, his fearless hue, racing through life like the legends do. Wheels on the ground, eyes on the stars. He lived like a lightning behind racing cars. He rode through the lion's gate, bold and free, a soul aligned with divine decree. The stars open wide, the heavens knew. Mike Penny's mission was pure and true. Truth seekers rise, the portal remains. His spirit lives on in our sacred veins. He called to the conscience to rise without rage, to lay down the ego and step on the stage of heart-led power, of masculine grace, of truth that flowers in the darkest place. Son of a light, heart open wide. He walked with the broken, never left their side. Impressed rare bird, called him her own. Truth seekers 88, his spirit their home. Amanda by his side, love shining through. Children of a legacy, strong and true. Now the stars hold his name, but we carry his flame. Mike Penny, our chief, in sorrow and belief. We rise, we sing, we speak his truth, forever guided by his fiery spirit.
we go. Welcome back. This is to the Truth Seekers 88. Today is August 10th, 2025. We have a couple things we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to put out some information on where to send flowers and cards.
Yeah, the address to send the flowers and cards or gifts, and the links for his. If anyone wants to donate to Mike Penny's family, his PayPal and Cash App. And I'm going to put it on the scroll, the ticker, the PayPal and the Cash App.
Yeah, let me put it.
You need me to resend it?
No, I got it right here. I'm glad to have everybody with us tonight. I know everybody's still in the healing process, and
We are too. Yesterday was really hit us. First time was shock, right? Yesterday hit us real hard. So but today we feel more at peace, and
so this is for cards, gifts, and letters for Mike Penny's family at 11020 Cleveland Road, Suite 102, box number 27, Garner, Garner, North Carolina 27529. That's for cards, gifts, and letters. I'll repeat it again. 11020. Let me go ahead and put that on the ticker.
yeah, that on the ticker.
Hold on, let me put on the ticker for you. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Let's come over here. Thank you for your patience.
Make sure everyone gets. It's posted in both chats and pinned. But just in case you're not in the chat, we'll have it available right here, and Cash App and the PayPal links.
Right here.
You got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is
But
it.
you didn't have the Cash App, did you?
Yeah, I see it right here. PayPal. That's the Cash App, right? That
I
number.
don't know. It's right on there.
We'll do the letters right now. Well, we'll keep that at the bottom of the screen as we.
Let's see. The Cash App is #.
Oh, okay.
At my penny 80.
I see it.
I mean, at $ Mike Penny 592 is the Cash App.
Here, let me put that on.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. So if you'd like to send anything, I'll send
I'm going to keep that. Got that. So the correction from last night is the Cash App is Mike Penny 592.
Yes. $sign Mike Penny 592. You got that?
Yeah.
Okay.
There is the address.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Let's see what else we have.
Yeah, this described Mike Penny. An awakened man is a champion of those who do not have a voice, strength to those who need encouragement, and light to be the ones who have lost their way. He is confident and strong, but he is also a promoter of peace, an agent of humility, and a model of grace and forgiveness. He calls to other conscious men to join the revolution, to lay down their egos, and with true masculine energy, demonstrate what it means to be a man who is connected to his heart.
So attributes of the masculine, because we're talking about the Lion's Gate, right?
Yes.
Let me go to 1 second.
He's showing us that we are the currency. We don't.
Give me 1 second. Do this. Here we go. So attributes of the masculine are to provide and protect everything a true value in a man. It can be done without cash. The Matrix wants men to believe that he has to have money to have worth. Not true. Worthy is the man whose word is his bond, whose heart can be trusted, and whose arms hold a family together, who shows up when those who love him need him, and who is adored and championed by those he cherishes with love's currency, the true treasure that attracts real wealth.
Yeah.
So this August, we're letting go of our fear and we're stepping into our power.
That's right. That's what the Lion Gate was, right?
Right.
And that the Lion Gate is open till the 12th.
So we were talking about cardinals and spirituality and seeing how nature communicates.
Right, and how we saw the cardinal outside our door after we found out the news about Mike, and y'all heard the story when we saw him. We said that's Mike, and I didn't realize, but somebody told me today that the cardinal was North Carolina's bird, and I was like, wow. But here's the 15 spiritual meanings of cardinals.
So cardinals with their red feathers and distinctive crest are more than just beautiful birds. Across cultures and spiritual traditions, they carry profound meanings that resonate deeply with those who encounter them. Whether you spot one perched on a branch or hear its melodic song, a cardinal's presence often feels like a message from the universe. In this article, we explore 15 spiritual meanings of cardinals We're going to be diving into their symbolism along the way, and we'll include a table summarizing key meanings and use subheadings to guide you through this journey of discovery. But also we have a video that we're going to play on this subject, and it's actually by Jim Brewer. What no one tells you about losing a parent and how God works. Funny how God works, right? He's got a sense of humor. This is came across the feed, I guess because of the algorithm.
Oh, it hurt us.
This morning.
Or is listening to us. But yeah, read those.
But the cardinal is a messenger from the divine. It is a sign of a loved one has passed. Many believe cardinals are messengers from those who have passed away. Their striking red color often feels like a beacon, a reminder that loved ones in the spirit realm are watching over you. Spotting a cardinal during a moment of grief or reflection can feel like a comforting hug from the other side. Symbol of hope and renewal. Its vivid plumage stands out, especially in the bleakness of winter. Spiritually, this represents hope and renewal, a reminder that even in dark times, light and growth are possible. Their presence encourages you to hold on to optimism no matter the season. Connection to the divine. In many spiritual traditions, cardinals are seen as a divine emissaries. Their bold appearance and clear song are thought to carry messages from higher powers, urging you to trust your intuition and stay open to spiritual guidance, right? Embracing confidence and courage. Cardinals don't shy away from attention, and their energy inspires you to step into your own power. Spirituality, they symbolize confidence and courage, encouraging you to stand tall and embrace your unique gifts without fear. A call to balance, something Mike talked about a lot. Male and female cardinals differ in appearance. White males sporting a bright red feathers, and females a subtler reddish brown. This duality represents balance, yin and yang, masculine and feminine, and cardinals' presence. They may nudge you to find harmony in your life or relationships. And Christian symbolism, Christ's blood, awakening the inner passion, Native American wisdom, messengers of love. So they're an everyday spiritual guidance, right? And then we get to an example of that.
When my father passed, it was by far the most painful loss I've experienced. Everyone has that one person you love that has passed on, and that pain is so difficult for people to move on from. I would beg God nonstop, God, please, I want to be able to be there for my father when he passes. My wife called me, said, Jim, I think this is it. He couldn't speak. It was over. They were saying, put him in a home. I said, yeah, it's not going to go. And so we agreed on hospice. And I said, I'm going to bring him to my house. I want to be there, period. He was in a coma state. And I'll never forget, it was about 2.5, 3 days. And he kept hanging around. He said, today's the day, probably tomorrow. And I didn't shower in a couple days, and then my beard started growing in. And my nephew came over and some family like, oh, Jim, we deal with everything with humor. My nephew's like, oh my God, Uncle Jim, you smell horrifying. And he's talking to my father, going, Grandpa, I know you can't leave because this smell is keeping you awake. And so I finally agreed to leave my dad and take a shower. And I whispered in his ear, don't even think about trying to sneak out of here while I'm gone. I know you. I remember being about 10, 11 years old, and I'd see him having a drink, and he would he's drinking the coffee and his hands were shaking. I said, Dad, why are your hands shaking? And I remember my mom going, his nerves are shot. And he's like, I was in the war, the war. And again, you don't really comprehend that. I grew up on this one street in Long Island our whole lives, and then my parents moved to Florida. I was really mad at them. They took me off the street. That's all I've ever known. And yeah, I'd go out and get banged up nonstop. And I came home just train wrecked. I'm trying to be sneaky. I had frozen White Castle burgers are taken out. Hitting the microwave. Beep, 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 beep. You're staring at that stare like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great. And I took out my ketchup and a barbecue sauce, and I'm just beating the snot out of White Castle cheeseburgers at 3 a.m. And all of a sudden, in front of me, I see my father perk up, and he goes, shh. I walked around the kitchen and go in front of him, and I'm like, Dad, it's me. You want a burger? He was awake, but he wasn't. He wasn't looking at me. He was looking right through me, and he was somewhere else. And I said, Dad, what are you doing? You're freaking me out. He was freaking me out. A, because I was wasted, and B, it's the middle of the night, and he's going, I said, Dad, what are you doing? And he goes, they're just land crabs. So what? They're just land crabs. And then he went back to sleep. I'm like, whoa, man, I don't know what just happened. I later found out when he was in the Philippines, a lot of his crew, platoon, whatever you want to call it, got wiped out. And they were waiting for the Marines to come and save them. But the whole island was overrun by the Japanese. And at nighttime, someone had to stand on guard for the few people that left. And in the Philippines, you have the mangroves or whatever they got, and it's close to the water. So at nighttime, if you just hear a land crab, you don't know if that's someone sneaking up with you on a rifle. So if you shoot and it's not the enemy, you just gave up your position. If you don't shoot and it is the enemy, you're going to get everyone killed. And I saw pictures of him. He's like 19, 20, 21. To be a kid, grew up in Dayton, Kentucky, 10 brothers and sisters. He talked about eating turtles and possum. And to go from that to now you make it as one of the only kids that made it through school, and now you get sent to a war. And then he came home, and they're like, okay, I know your friends got killed and everyone got killed, but hey, go have some babies and, put the flag out. We won. As I get older, to understand what this man went through, and he never took that out on me, and he never took that out on anyone around him. I see him as one of the most noble human beings in my lifetime, not just because he was my father, just a powerful human being. And he was always there, and so I wanted to be there for him. Now comes time, I gotta go take a shower. And I said, Dad, don't even think about leaving. You're not leaving. Don't try to sneak out while I'm away. I went upstairs and I showered so quick. And in the middle of that, my daughter banging on the door, Dad, Grandpa, opened his eyes. Now, most people will get excited and think that's some type of miracle, but I also was warned this is usually what happens right before it's over. So I go running downstairs, and I see he's coming in for the final stretch, and his eyes are open, but I hop on, I cradle him, and I literally went, you sneaky. You're so sneaky. I told you you're not going alone. I got you. As a soldier of life. I got you. It's funny and not funny. The last breath was, and then when I tell you, you've never experienced a cry I mean, it's primal. It came from a place I didn't even know existed. It was like, And then all of a sudden he took another breath. So it was like he was out for 10 seconds, then he was gone. Like, he went, oh my God, it scared the life out of me. And he did this 2 more times until it was finally over. And then, you have this primal, like, loss inside you. Like, wow, this really went down. I remember it was October after he passed. The fall was coming. Some of the leaves were changing. And I was asking God, is there any way I can, like, what happens when we're gone? Like, I don't need to see, I don't need the answers. I don't want to question you, but am I going to feel him again? All of a sudden, I started hearing a tap on a window in the next room. In the dining room, it's this cardinal, and he's in the bush. He's looking at me, and he looks straight out. Now, you start thinking you're crazy because I'm going, what? Like, Dad, is this you? Like, I don't know anything about birds. And so I kept walking away, and every time I walk away, the bird would fly into the window. He wasn't smashing into it. He'd go up to it, and then he'd go back into the bush. What is this? Am I crazy? I remember a couple minutes later, my family came home, so I just had my eyes are swollen, and I didn't want to tell anyone that I think the spirit of my dad showed up, or some spirit. I didn't want to, don't retell. So I kind of let it go. But now, this is where this goes into another level. My bedroom was above the room where my dad passed. The next morning, I'm hearing banging, and I thought someone was at the door. So I looked out the window, and I went down there, and now in a smaller bush outside my dad's window is this cardinal. And the cardinal is going against the window and then going back, and I'm like, all right, this is, all right, mate, whatever. But now this cardinal goes from there, then he goes to the laundry room, and then back to the room where I first saw him. And this is happening every single day. And now it's becoming a little bit of a joke. Like, my kids would go, hey, Grandpa, it's the weekend. We don't have school. They have to start tapping the window at 7 a.m. We had this, a friend from Florida. He specifically said, my friend Dave's like, listen, I know you think this is your father, but you gotta kill him. You gotta kill him again because I'm on vacation and he's tapping on the window. So it became like a little bit of a joke, but this cardinal was every single day. It wasn't once in a while. So it started in the fall, and then it went throughout the whole winter, went through the entire next summer, all the way back to October. So it's been a year straight, every single day. There's people that do think you're crazy. And I remember my father-in-law, this thing is, he's going to break his nose picking on the window. I said, what's weird is I was like talking to God, and he's like, it has nothing to do with God. It's a male bird, and they're very territorial, and he sees his reflection, and he's trying to attack the other male. That's all it is. There's no such thing as God or spirits or anything like that. Which, it does make sense. That I know what I felt, and I know deep down inside what this is. I just don't know what it truly is, if that makes sense. A year and a half later, so October goes through another October, all the way to March. We went on a trip to Turks and Caicos. There was a lot going on. It was good to get away. It's like I lost my dad and my sister. There was a lot going on. We had a beautiful villa. I mean, you're overlooking this stunning scenery, and we had this patio, and I had one of the worst meltdowns I ever had missing my father. It was bad. I was in the middle crying, and I went, I'm not doing this anymore. I go, Dad, I am so sorry. You can go. I'm sorry. I need to grow up. I need to move on. This is what happens in life. And whenever I think you, I'm going to laugh. I'm not going to cry anymore. I'm going to laugh. Seriously, go. I promise you I'm going to be okay. I promise. And I had my moment. That was the beginning of letting him go. Vacation's over. On my life, you can't even make this up. We land, we come pulling into the house, and everyone's jumping out of the car. I'm back home with tan. This one's sunburnt. And as we go up the stairs, my father-in-law is there. First thing he says to me, he goes, "Hey, that bird is gone." I said, what are you talking about? He goes, that cardinal, I don't know, I noticed in the middle of the week, it just, I didn't hear it, and I recognized it, so I stayed all day, and then came back the next day. Yeah, that's gone. I remember just feeling, wow. And I just sat down on my stairs, and I had a smile on my face, and I actually started giggling like, and he said, "What?" And I went, You don't understand. I let my dad go this week. I said, I let my dad go right in the middle of the week. And he goes, "Oh, for crying out loud, it's a bird. He migrated." And I laughed really hard because I understood I don't need him to understand. Nor do I need anyone to understand. I know what it was, what it is, and what it will always be. All my life, that bird never came back. We didn't have any cardinals tapping on windows or any other bird tapping on a window ever again. What is that? What is that?
There we go. So that is from Jim Brewer.
Yeah.
Jim
that
Brewer's
was- That was beautiful.
So what no one tells you about losing a parent.
I dabbled with stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to do it my whole life. I knew I wanted to be an entertainer, but 1989 was the boom. Here we go.
Here's the channel. Let me bring it up for a little bit right here. That's where we played it tonight's
When my
video
father passed, it was by far the most painful loss I've experienced.
That. Oh. Calls that. Here we go. So there's some alignments also that's been taking place. Let me get this muted or paused. There we go. That I want to bring to everyone's attention with the energies, with the full moon, the sun, and the other planets as well coming into alignment. All taking place. Not only the pyramids lining the stars, the stage is being set. So this is from, let's see these volumes. This is Mr. MPB33.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. Remember yesterday we talked about the stage being set. Things are in a very, very unique position. And last night's full moon, we talked about the full moon having an influence on the earth. And all of you guys in the chat are well aware that the full moon has always influenced the earth. That's no secret. But with the planetary alignments the way they are, we knew that the full moon would have a bigger influence on the earth last night and even into today than it would typically. The stage is definitely set. And I wanted to touch base on the information. AZ Watchwoman in the house. We got royalty in the house today. AZ Watchwoman was the very first Star Family member. If you guys are interested in becoming a Star Family member, the link's right up there in the top of the chat. Welcome aboard.
So I'm bringing this to show the alignments as well as its effects on the weather and the flooding that we're also seeing up north. We have some viewers in Michigan and Wisconsin without power tonight.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys, wherever you're at. Last night was an incredibly wild evening across the Central Plains. There are still power outages in Wisconsin, Nebraska, and I believe, yes, in Iowa, a few over in Minnesota, a few in Missouri, a few in Kansas, but primarily Wisconsin, where things just absolutely went off the rails last night. And to me, it's part of all of this big process that we talked about yesterday, how the planetary alignment that we're currently looking at, if this were a big capacitor or a big circuit board, you know, full of little capacitors and relays that carry currents, look at the planets as capacitors and relays. They are lined up, and it's not about the straight line. It's about the angular momentum and things like that. Factored in with the full moon. Here we go.
So this was 8-9, right? So everything's coming into alignment after the 88. Mike's passing, going into the Lion's Gate. Everything's lining up. Stage is being set.
Last night.
So 8-9 is 17. 1 and 7 is 8. Plus the 2025 is 9. That still equals 1788. But even 8-9 was. So we got 8-10. We got 8-11.
Full moon delivered. Wow. I've got some unbelievable video footage out of eastern Nebraska from last night where the sky was just overloaded with energy. And I wasn't surprised. Looking at the position of the planets, the sky should be and probably will be for the next few days. But looking at the power outage situation after last night's spectacle, 18,600 still off the grid right now as I do this video in Nebraska. 50,355 off the grid in Wisconsin, and rivers are rising in Wisconsin. Last night saw a biblical storm that went through, I believe it was a derecho. A derecho has certain criteria that has to be an organized storm for, I believe, over 250 miles, 500 miles continuously. I don't know if it did that or not. It may have. I know it was quite an unbelievable storm, and here you can kind of see part of the storm last night as it was developing over eastern Nebraska. That's why they're dealing with power outages. And I believe that component right there that more than likely was juiced by the full moon last night, things just kicked into high gear. You guys are going to see some unbelievable video footage from that location. But moving on up into Wisconsin, as I mentioned earlier, just the energy and this created a storm like they hadn't seen in probably decades up here, if ever. The amount of rain that fell was just absolutely staggering. I don't even know exactly how much they got. I know certain areas was almost double digits. Look at the flooding that occurred in Wisconsin. This was at Elmsworth Park in Bayside, Wisconsin. I wanted to show you guys the river gauges up here. They are at historic levels following a thunderstorm. This was no ordinary thunderstorm. We can thank the planetary positions for this right here. Oh, you bet. You're looking at a river right here in Wisconsin. It's called Fox River. In fact, I will take you to Fox River right now. Here we go. Here's Fox River. It goes right through Waukesha. Waukesha saw the flooding last night on an unrivaled scale. Look at the river. And the river's not that big. So it went up out of its banks very, very quickly. And as you can see, it goes right through the middle of town. Look at that. So these areas right here, you can see homes and businesses over here. I mean, people were caught off guard by this thing last night. And you can see some of the pictures of of the aftermath. This is as the water was starting to recede. There's a big tree that was taken over last night. Are you serious? This was in the Milwaukee area. There's another big tree. That's probably the same one, just a closer view. See the massive root system that just came up out of the ground? That's a big tree with a tall canopy. Here's somebody's basement full of water. Those look like maybe couches or something underwater. They were not ready for this. But we talked about the stage being set and the characters are in place and they've got their roles, and we're going to see this type of stuff for a while. It is already starting. We're going to talk about earthquakes that have happened since we talked about the stage being set yesterday, and then this historic flood that took a lot of people, like I said, by surprise. They weren't ready for this. In fact, I think there were people at an outdoor concert that had no idea that this was going to do what it did. But here's a river right in the middle of this town, right here. Let me go back to it to show you exactly where we're at. Keisha, I just closed the tab. No, there we go. This river right here. It is at historic levels. Right there it is. It's supposed to crest today at 10.8 feet. The record, 8.8 feet. 2 feet above its all-time high. Are you serious? 2 feet above its all-time high. From a rogue and random thunderstorm that went through the area last night. Right here's part of the storm over here. There it goes. I don't think that's a derecho. I don't think that's an official derecho because it would have had to have went through Iowa, which it did, and then all the way up and through Wisconsin as a cohesive storm, all the way up into Canada. So probably not a textbook derecho, but it acted like one. From what I understand, there were winds in excess of 80 and 90 miles an hour right here in eastern Nebraska last night. Just an unbelievable storm, unbelievable situation. Again, they call floods, biblical floods in the Midwest shuts down state fair. That's where people were at, the state fair last night in Wisconsin. And airports closed, roads closed, subdivisions flooded. People were flooded at the state fair. Here's some people trying to get to high ground at the state fair, standing on top of the handrail. Have you ever seen anything like this? I mean, yeah, we've seen flooding and stuff like that, but this was at the Wisconsin State Fair. This poor girl here was caught in the middle of the probably like what was considered a rip current, moving through this, looks like an underground, some sort of an underground walkway or something. Here's a car underwater. Are you serious right now? Wow, 45,000 customers were without electricity Sunday morning. That number is up to over 50,000 customers. Here's a car nearly, halfway submerged underwater. Wow. Truck. And that sits up off the ground, submerged underwater. And this was a thunderstorm. Thunderstorm, not a typical thunderstorm, right? That thunderstorm was influenced by the stage. The stage is indeed set. This is one of the planetary alignments that we're currently in right now. In case you missed yesterday's video, this is just a quick follow-up. I've got something else to share with you guys that I'm confident was influenced by the position of the planets and the position of the Earth and what's going on with the sun. Obviously, the sun's the main character in the cast of characters. There's a massive coronal hole facing the Earth right now as I do this video. And here's alignment number 2. Uranus, Saturn, Earth, and Mars. We've got 3 gas giants influencing the Earth today, last night, been influencing the Earth. But the relay, the current carrier, the capacitor last night was the full moon. And the full moon was in rare form last night. I got a couple of photos of the full moon. Here we go. JoJo out of Scottsdale, Arizona, she saw something that appeared to fly by the moon. I haven't had a chance to analyze this.
People were posting pictures in the chat about the moon last night too, as well, right?
Stu was, and a couple other people. Stu
Stu
always posts pictures of the moon in the chat.
Super up close, but I will, JoJo. I don't know if that was an airplane, if that was a bird, if that was some sort of UAP. I don't know. And then there's a picture of the full moon over here by Lumbee out of Southwest Louisiana. And the full moon was supercharged last night. Again, there are more rivers up here potentially setting records. That one there, the Fox River, by 2 feet. Here's another river, Root River at Franklin. Major flood stage is 12 feet. This is going to reach 11.31. In fact, that's where it's at right now as I do this video. The record is 11. So there's another record. We've got rivers reaching record.
So
like Harry said,
the stage is set.
Actually,
characters
Just need to
are
fast
in place,
forward.
right?
Once while moving around.
Do what?
Stage is set and the characters are in place.
Yes.
But I thought that was interesting. He
The
said
stage
that.
is set. The characters are in place.
Yeah. Mike did not get the shot. Someone in the chat saying he think they got. No, he did not.
No.
He had a congestive heart, and if you have been following him, you know he had many issues with his heart over the last few years.
He had a pacemaker.
Right. His heart just gave out.
Winds of 60, 70, even up to 90 miles an hour in the eastern part of
Are you
Nebraska.
serious?
So unfortunately,
So the stage is set. Everything's in alignment. Here we go. I'll share that out. Hit the card. Stage is set. All right, other stages that are being set are taking place in the medical field right now with Bill Gates
Yes.
funding certain aspects of things that are fixing to come down the pipe with Big Pharma. People need to be made aware. We are. Where are we at? And we're talking about universal vaccines funded by Bill Gates. And you have RFK and Trump promoting it, right?
Yes.
So let's just take a look at Bill Gates. Who the hell is this Bill Gates guy, right? What's his plan? We're going to go back to Bill Maher to help us with this brew universe. Bill Gates is evil? Question mark. Jim Brewer reacts.
Why is Bill Gates worshipped? Can anyone explain that to me? What is it about Bill Gates? What is it about Bill Gates that is so special? Can anyone tell me? How does a man like this, with billions and billions and billions of dollars, get to say, I want to block out the sun? Did you hear about this? He wants to block out the sun. He's geoengineering mosquitoes, and he invests all his money in depopulating the world. And this all comes out of his mouth. I want to show you this, and I want to know. And I know people that are actually like praise. They love my neighbor that used to live in Chestnut, New Jersey. He's like, we always contribute to the Gates Foundation because he does so much. He does so much. Bill Gates is an Avengers character. Play these things by him. Population growth. That's this
big benefit. The key thing you can do to reduce population growth is actually improve health.
In the developed countries, the big winners are countries that have shrinking populations.
I would like to reduce the number of people on the planet because there's too many of us.
Oh, really?
When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles
Yeah.
and reduce population,
Yeah.
Wait. What the?
more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
Wow. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that.
We're taking things that are, genetically modified organisms, and we're injecting them in little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein.
So in the next 5 to 10 years, for the next pandemic, we'll solve all those problems.
You say the next pandemic, there will be another pandemic.
Absolutely. We don't know when.
History teaches us that the next pandemic
So this is what we're up against.
is a matter of when, not if.
We know what's next. We're going to have another major coronavirus pandemic before the end of this decade, before 2030.
If we really want to prevent the next pandemic, and there will be one, there will absolutely be an outbreak of another
It's amazing
pandemic.
how people know what pandemics are coming. It's amazing how this guy, he talks about we need to depopulate the world.
Depopulate the world. Hold on, can you believe that, Machine Dog?
Yeah.
Because they care about us.
How do we start this video?
I'm not done with that. Just wanted to pause for a second. What's going on here?
Everyone talks about depopulating. Have you all traveled? Have you been to Middle America? It's nothing but space. Space, land, and space. Oh, now we play God? We decide who's going to live and who's not going to live? Do you remember years ago when we used to look at China and we'd go, that's a sick country because they don't allow, if it's a son or if it's a daughter, they have to get rid of them. It's like, what kind of country would do that to their children? The U.S. would. And you're allowing Bill Gates to say it, and people still put this man on a platform. He's playing God. He gets to decide who will live and who won't live because which I didn't know he was a scientist. And I didn't know he was a doctor. The last I checked, he was like a computer whiz who also was under investigation by the government a long time ago because he was the guy that created viruses when he was the only one that knew how to fix the viruses. Oh, genius. And then he took his millions of dollars and he changed his whole image to be like, hi, I'm the vaccine guy. Let's go to Korea and kill kids. Korea didn't have autism until vaccines showed up. I didn't say that. That's not a fact. I'm not a scientist. But I've seen plenty of interviews that say the same exact thing. But hey, Bill Gates, isn't he brilliant? Guy, what a good guy. He contributes. He pays off. You know what all sick individuals do? They pay people off. Here, I'm a good guy. Ain't I a good guy? I'll pay for your foundation. Foundations, a lot of times, are big write-offs for billionaires. They need to write off a lot of money in taxes. That's what they do. Hey, here's a contribution to your foundation. Tax write-off. Here's a contribution. They don't care about the contributions. It's a tax write-off. And then the people that get it, I will never forget this statement. I lived next to a guy that worked for Moderna. Actually, take it away. Moderna, great company. Really. Love what they do. This guy worked for a vaccine company. True story. And when the whole thing was going down, I'll never forget, we stopped in the street and he was all caught up in the news and he asked me if I got vaccinated. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. He said, why not? I said, there's no need to. He goes, no. And he tried to explain to me what his little scientific friends taught him how to sell the product. And I'll never forget this quote. I said, well, what about the side effects? What about the people that are affected in a bad way with vaccines? And his exact words were, he paused and he went, the good outweigh the bad until it's your child. And the good outweighs the bad when it comes to how much of this is made. The good outweighs the bad. As long as we get that. If there was no money involved, would it exist? Would you have shoved it down everyone's throat? I don't know. It's a question to be asked. But hey, they were on television. We need to trust the science. Don't trust morality. Don't trust your instinct. Don't trust what God perfectly formulated your body with your own brain to think. Don't trust God who gave you common sense, those feelings that tell you something's wrong. Trust the television. They have the facts. They have the specialist. They have the figures. They have the truth. And they have this in their pocket to sell you the BS. I'll continue to listen to God. I will continue to listen to my instinct. Bill Gates, can you play the? He wants to block out the sun. Are you listening to me? You think I'm lying? Forget. If you don't want to believe Joe Rogan, that's fine too. First play the Rogan clip, then play. This is all over. He's not hiding this. Play this.
As some plan to stop global warming, like shoot particles into the air to block out the sun. And people are like, hey, do you know how many people are on Earth? You can't just come up with that idea and try it. Like, what about the rest of us? This is
You
the
all
whole
need
plan.
vitamin D.
But imagine being so ridiculous. You're so wealthy that you think, oh, I could just block the sun.
I got so much. I'm going to block the sun. This is a character out of the Avengers. I shall go to the earth with all my wealth, and I'll go to a Coldplay concert, and I'll get caught. Before I do that, I shall not help the homeless. I shall not feed people around the world with my great wealth. I shall not build things for the elderly to give them care the rest of their life. I shall block out the sun. What do you need to see? You need to see this, and you need to see a tail and a pitchfork? Hello? Humanity, wake up! Block out the sun. The sun gives life. The sun makes things live. The sun gives life. It gives light. It heats. It's beautiful. It's warm. It gives life to the plant. The plants, they face the sun. The trees, they face the sun. Let's block it out. Who are the sick human beings behind this? Hey, let's march for these rights. It's all in your face. They laugh in your face. Play this guy. Play this clip.
So being obsessed with the idea of, quote, blocking out the sun using chalk or other types of chemicals. And Bill Gates has also funded research and projects all around the world, not just in America, across Europe and various other places, that are willing to research and get involved in this type of nefarious, I would call it, practices.
Meanwhile, Bill Gates is backing the first high-altitude experiment of one radical climate change solution, creating a massive chemical cloud that could cool the Earth.
A chemical cloud.
It's called solar
That's good for
geoengineering,
humanity.
and it's highly controversial. It would look something like this. Thousands of planes would fly very high and use nozzles to inject millions of tons of
I
light
thought this was a
particles
conspiracy
into the
that
stratosphere.
planes
It would create a thin chemical
spread
cloud of those
chemicals
particles
to the air.
around
Now,
the
it's not a
planet,
conspiracy.
blocking some sunlight from reaching the surface.
Oh, we're going to block
It would
the
mimic a
sunlight.
giant volcanic eruption, which we know cools the earth.
Now, just stop right here. If you went on God, morality, common sense, and some whack job comes to you and says, I got all this money and I got this idea of blocking out the sun. Your first reaction would go, are you a psychopath? Are you nuts? And then they go, but I've got money. How much money do you? And then you'd be like, okay, all right, I'll take the money. He's bought your morality. He's killed the God inside. He just killed everything. He killed your spirituality. He sold your soul, and you're willing to get behind this psychopath to block the sun. If there was no money involved, you'd probably chase this guy down the street, and you'd beat him to death for even the thought of saying, I'm going to spray things in the air, and I'm going to block out the sun. Man, I hope we wake up one day. Wouldn't it be beautiful if Bill Gates build homes for the elderly? Wouldn't it be great if he built homes and we started helping homeless people and started rebuilding Maui? Or started building the people that lost their lives in North Carolina and all of Fort Myers and the west coast of Florida and all the tragedies. Wouldn't that be amazing? Let's go block out the sun. Let's inject mosquitoes that can go and attack people. Have you heard that one? Go look that up. These aren't conspiracy, folks. This is real life that you're living. And the minute you turn off that damn television, and the minute you get your God back inside you and trust your instinct, the better we'll all be. And remember, you're way more important than you can ever imagine.
Turn that damn TV off. Get that God back inside of you. Reconnect. Right?
That's right.
Trust your
I
instincts.
dabbled with stand-up comedy. I knew.
So you heard it from the horse's mouth. You see also he's still in play.
I wanted to do it my whole life. I knew I wanted to be an entertainer, but 1989 was the boom. Here we go.
There we go. So we still got universal vaccines on the shelf. That should be going off right now. So that's why I brought that video up. This is bigger than just blocking the sun. But it's being promoted by Maha. And people are wanting to know why it's being funded by Bill Gates. So heads up. We're not. Which one?
Video.
Oh. Yeah. This is from B-Dale. Is it?
You don't need the system. All this shit was a loser. You know why? Because Donald Trump is the last president. He's showing us that we are the currency. We don't need the system. All this shit was a loser. You know why? Because Donald Trump is actually a Luciferian white hat. And a Luciferian white hat, they don't take sides. They play both sides, meaning that he's basically neutral. He's also Agent 47. He's the 47th president. And he was actually the 45th president. When you look at the numerical sequence of 45 and 47, you get 9/11. So that means that the next tower moment that we're going to have is going to happen on Donald Trump's watch, because he's also a Gemini. You got Gemini and Uranus all the way up into the year of 2033. Then you have Saturn right now retrograde, which is the embodiment of karmic retribution. We're going to see a 9/11 event in the future. It's going to happen. But you actually got 4 Donald Trumps. The real one is inside Chennai Mountain in the deep underground military bunker systems. So you got to clone him. Well, everybody got to clone him. Yep. He is using the restoration process as a catalyst for the next revolution. He's not doing it because he wants to. He's doing it because he has to. Because Donald Trump is controlled by tall whites. And the tall whites are actually the Pleiadians. The Pleiadian, they're giving him access through the Intergalactic Confederation to cause the restoration process of the Republic. So that's why in the year of 2020, he signed the Second Declaration of Independence. They know that we're in the last sun cycle, so that means that you have to give everything right back to the republic, because the republic is for the people, and the people is the chosen people of the land, who are actually the indigenous Native American people who come from the Olmecs, the ancient Atlanteans, the Mayans, the ancient Kemites. That's all us. We have to give the keys back to the rightful owners of the planet.
There you go. He's doing it not because he wants to, because they're making him.
Yes.
It's got to go back to the rightful owners. And we know who they are, right? The original tribes. And he's a white hat Luciferian. Plays, like we talked about before, he's a double-headed eagle.
Both sides.
Both sides. He doesn't take either side.
Red
He
time,
plays
blue
both
time.
sides. So there's that.
You want to hear it again?
So we cheer on what he's doing is good because it's in the benefit of all of us. But not if you're on the wrong side, right? It's not too good for them. But there's higher powers that's really behind all this.
Donald Trump is the last president.
The last president, right?
Yeah.
Or is that?
All right.
Do the pyramid thing. The 3 pyramids.
Oh, let me go right here. All of them?
Yeah, but this one first.
Which one?
That one.
The Temple of Isis was found in the Grand Canyon, and they don't want us to know, because if we knew, we'd remember everything. To every 9 ether being awakening in this timeline, hear me now. The Grand Canyon is not just a tourist attraction. It is a sacred archive, a buried city, a throne of memory. Deep within her walls lies the Temple of Isis, not a myth, not a metaphor, but a mapped, surveyed, and sealed site that holds our artifacts, our language, our science, and our soul blueprints. The curved walls, 90-degree right angles, star-aligned platforms, these are not random erosion. These are the remains of a forgotten civilization we once ruled. They call them temples, they call them tombs, but we call them home.
So the 3 temples, I keep saying temple, the 3 pyramids that in the Grand Canyon that we don't see because they didn't. That's why they had it closed off. Is the Temple Ra, Isis, Ra, and El, right? And
Israel.
yes, and it's been guarded by the Hopi.
So those are the 3 pyramids?
Yes.
Which aligned on 88?
And you can see this was a massive kingdom. So I was watching something today. I don't know if it's in that one, but they said all the artifacts, all the history is within the Isis pyramid.
Arkansas is more than a state. It is an ancient court of cosmic law. Long before borders, before judges in black robes, this land held solar tribunals, sacred councils, and temples of fire and water. The Ouachita Mountains, whose name means ancient water people, are remnants of Atlantean geography, carrying the quartz memory of Kemet. The hot springs were more than healing waters. They were baths of initiation, where flame-born souls would be anointed, healed, and aligned with the cycles of the stars. And across the land, the mounds and megaliths, now forgotten or erased, were once earth altars, zodiacal temples, and ancestral courts, where the laws of nature and soul were balanced by high priests and priestesses of the flame. This is why the same cross symbol appears on Mississippian pottery, Sumerian seals, and Egyptian temples, because this was one land, one priesthood, one bloodline. Now returning in this age of awakening, Arkansas sits at the heart of the Earth Cross, the intersection of ley lines and lifelines. The 12 signs of the zodiac spiral around this gate, not for superstition, but for spiritual navigation. Those who awaken here are not tourists. They are witnesses, returners, rebuilders of the court of Kemet, now risen again from the soil of the south. The scroll has returned, and the court is in session.
All right, yeah, well, those crystals right there in Arkansas.
Did you know there's a mountain in the Grand Canyon named after the Egyptian goddess Isis? That's not a coincidence. This land is encoded with memory. The Isis temple isn't just a rock, it's a stone womb, a sacred seat of power that mirrors the very throne Isis sat upon in ancient Kemet, rising from the canyon like a queen crowned in red clay. This butte carries the frequency of resurrection, feminine wisdom, and ancestral guidance. In the old world, Isis was the mother of magic. In this land, she still speaks, through the winds, through the silence, through the curves of the rock that resemble her sacred throne. She calls the lost back to wholeness, and just below her, tunnels, legends say, hold Atlantean relics, hieroglyphs, and star maps once guarded by our ancestors. In 1909, it was reported that Egyptian-style artifacts were found in a hidden cave near her temple. Then suddenly, silence. But the canyon remembers, and so do you. These temples weren't just named, they were reactivated. You are the living key. The map is in your bones.
That's that.
But a mirror, a signal, a divine disruption to trigger our collective shadow. Whether you love him or loathe him, his presence reveals something deeper. Resentful, the reflection of a world that values power over truth, ego over soul, noise over stillness. But spirit uses everything, even chaos, especially chaos, because it's in the storm where we find out and see where we're unhealed, where we are divided, where we are asleep. Don't watch him, watch you. What does he trigger in you? Fear, anger, control, powerlessness. Whatever you feel, that's the place. Spirit is calling you to heal. Donald Trump isn't a spiritual leader, but he plays a spiritual role. A great awakener of the unconscious. So before you go casting stones, ask yourself, what's within me is still asleep? I smoke the creator.
So basically, she's
And
saying,
I don't miss.
basically, she's saying Trump is like a reflection of us as a collective, right? If he triggers you, if you're mad or if you fear him, what is it inside you that you need to work on? Why is it letting you that get to you so bad? So he's bringing out the different scenarios that are taking place, is bringing out what people have kept inside, right? And they're purging it. It's a purging, but they're able to express that on the social media platforms, right? And on TikTok, YouTube, wherever. So that's a way of getting things out and clearing your DNA, things that have been bottled up or things that you might not even know that may have carried on from your ancestors that you're being presented with to get that out. So you're purging is cleansing yourself. Right? Yeah. Chaos creates ascension within by waking up to the truth. Yes. And the chaos brings that out.
There you go. Even if it's bitter, the bitterer the better. Even when you're dealing with herbs.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
bitterer the herb, the better. It gets rid of the parasites.
Right? Or they're really strong. Taste like crap, but they work.
The parasites. It could sometimes be the pair of eyes you have. Let's see here. What else we got? Real quick. So we see what's coming, what the plan is, the agenda 2030, right? And what they want to do before then as far as the vaccines are concerned. You still have the villains. This one.
Did you know that these crepe myrtles are actually medicinal? Like the entire plant? Because I didn't know that until recently. The bark, the leaves, the flowers, and even the berries. So they actually can aid in wound healing. So if you were out in the field and got a cut or a scrape or something, you could actually make these flowers into a poultice or a paste. Put that directly on your skin. It has antiseptic properties, so it can keep your body from setting up infection until you could get treatment. Even more interesting, it has anti-diabetic properties. It has, like I said, antiseptic. It's antibacterial, anti-diarrheal, and even cooler is it's being studied right now. You don't even have to take it internally to get the medicinal values. They say that even just viewing these plants in bloom can help to reduce your blood pressure, can help to reduce cortisol, can help to reduce cardiovascular stress. Isn't that really cool? Have so many benefits. I suggest that you do your own research and get out and go yourself.
I think somebody figured out a way to get free tickets to Cancun if anybody was looking to go on vacation to Cancun. We found out a way to get, somebody found out a way to get free tickets to Cancun. You want to manifest some tickets to Cancun? Mexico?
You're Mexican? That's right, on my mother's father's side.
Yes, I can see it. Gracias. Thank you. You're Mexican? That's right, on my mother's father's side. Yeah. Yes, I can see it. Gracias. Thank you.
That was so funny.
Something's clanking on your wrist.
That's my bracelets.
Oh.
My copper bracelets.
So I have a little something that Bird Love Ford is written by. Before we close out, I want to read this. And this was written by Gandalf. So this week marks the passing of Mike Penny. Mike has passed his mortal coal and moved on to what is next. Mike is not gone, not in my mind or heart, and in my opinion, Mike is not resting in peace. He is fighting with a new set of tools and has not lost a step. My relationship with Mike was never a huggy kissy thing, but Mike held me accountable. He strode with me through some terrible truths and worked with me as a partner and voice to startle people away. Mike was not a small voice in this movement, and he will be missed. But he is not gone. We are at war. It is that simple. Many years ago, a three-war plan was laid out, and we are in the third and last segment of that process now, which is the narrative war, that the struggle in this realm to uncover truths and to startle people awake. That was Mike's mission, to jolt the masses into seeing, feeling, and experiencing freedom of thought and faith in this realm. Amongst all the chaos and confusion, Mike provided a beam of light through the fog of narrative of war. In that task, he will be missed. But our task is to continue the work, not parroting what Mike Penny said, though at times a quote might fit nicely, but to come to your own spirit-led conclusions, to be a light source, not a flashlight, filled with Mike Penny batteries. Continue to burn with a desire to uncover the truth. That is what Mike taught us by example every day. Sorry about that, guys. My daughter's getting excited. My dog likes it. To be a light source, not a flashlight, filled with Mike Penny batteries. Continue to burn with a desire to uncover the truth. That is what Mike taught us by example every day. For many years, I will miss the ability to call Mike. Yeah, me too. And to discuss the latest gotcha. I think a lot of people are going to be missing that ability to call him.
Yes.
Yes, that is true. I have not lost Mike. I am sure I will see him in the dream space. I tend to visit with a number of friends in that realm. We all have this ability. It just takes work. So let us come together and pick up the slack for Mike. That is what he would have wanted. That is what his intent in presentation, and that is our choice to make. We will be responsible for spreading the word that Mike cannot with his mouth in this realm, and I for one will continue. In the heavenly realm gained a huge asset today. Gandalf, it's on the Facebook account.
Yeah, that's his race car with the True Seekers logo on it. Yeah, pull up these pictures today. That one.
Oh, that one?
The black one. Black car.
Oh, this guy?
No, the
Oh.
black car. Stop. That was a blue one. That one's a black one. I like that one. That's nice.
And that's what we have for tonight. This one?
Yeah.
One more video that she wants me to play.
Yeah, notice the guy's hat.
The revolution will not be televised.
That's right. She wants attention.
This is back in the 70s.
Revolution wasn't televised in the 60s. Is it going to be televised in the 90s?
Well, you know, the catchphrase, what that was all about, the revolution will not be televised. That was about the fact that the first change that takes place is in your mind. You have to change your mind before you change the way you live and the way you move. So when we said that the revolution will not be televised, we were saying that, like, that the thing that's going to change people is something that no one will ever be able to capture on film. It'll just be something that you see, and all of a sudden you realize, I'm on the wrong page, or I'm on the right page, but I'm on the wrong note. And I've got to get in sync with everyone else to understand what's happening in this country. But I think that the Black Americans have been the only real die-hard Americans here, because we're the only ones who've carried the process through the process. That everyone else has to sort of like skip stages. We're the ones who marched, we're the ones who carried the Bible, we're the ones who carried the flag, we're the ones who tried to go through the courts. And being born American didn't seem to matter, because we were born Americans, but we still had to fight for what we were looking for. And we still had to go through those channels and those processes.
And that's where we're at right now, right? Same
right.
fight. I just wanted to point out the hat, which is the red and the blue, right?
Yes.
See the red and the blue hat? Male or female, right, red and blue. Come together. That is it. So this is a video that I wanted to play. This is called See You Again. It's got the kids in here singing.
Yeah.
And that's what brought us all together, was the children. So I want to play this for Mike.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Dang, who knew all the planes we flew, the things we've been through, and I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we'd love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, are the forever days.
Now I see you in a better place.
See you in a better place.
How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you're gonna be with me for the last ride. It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again. I should both go watch your way and the vibe is feeling stronger. What's small turn to a friendship, and friendship turn to a bond, and the bond will never be broken, and love will never get lost. And when graduate compass, and the line will never be crossed. Establish it all alone with that line, actually drawn, and that line is what we reach. So remember me when I'm gone.
When I'm gone.
When I'm gone.
How can we not talk about family when family's all that we know? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you're gonna be with me for the last time.
Let the light guide your way. Yeah. Hold every memory as you go, and every road you take will always lead you home. It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. You've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Hope everybody enjoyed that as much as I did when I heard it. So I wanted to bring that to the show tonight. And that was a beautiful letter by Gandalf.
Yes, it was. Thank you, Gandalf.
And we thank you for everybody's support and continued support throughout this. And yep, a lot of days ahead in healing. And so we recognize that. So we wanted to bring what we brought tonight in order to continue the fight moving forward with our own set of batteries, like Gandalf said. We have our own, each one of us have our own light. Mike is now in a position to help out from a different realm. It's still energy. You can see everything lining up with the numbers and planetarily with the pyramids and everything like that. So it's divine plan, and sometimes we just can't understand.
That's right. But we trust it, right? We trust our guidance. We're all gonna prevail.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Love you all.
We love you all. Thank you, Gandalf, for the letter. Thank you for the songs, everybody. Thank you for all the support for Mike's family throughout this process and his two kids. We're going to keep fighting for them. I want somebody to fight for my kids if I was gone. So we're going to continue to fight for his kids as well, and continue to support the family moving forward. And we hope everybody has a great rest of their night. We're going to wake up in the morning and just take a deep breath and thank God and look around at nature. We'll be back tomorrow. Hang in there, guys. We're going to keep it going.
Good night.
Thank you for the letters, the flowers, and support with the address at the bottom. Mike Penny's family, 11020 Cleveland Road, Suite 102, Box 27, Garner, Texas, 27529.
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Said Texas.
Oh, I said Texas. Good night.
Good night.
Tracy.
She said good night too.
He stood in the water, arms to the sky, a warrior. conscience, to rise without rage, to lay down the ego and step on the stage.